All right, so get ready. We're about to take a deep dive into some pretty unique territory.
Yeah, this is going to be cool.
We're going to be exploring an issue of Black Pearl,
Hmm.
a journal from the College of Thelema.
Okay.
Now, if Thelema doesn't ring a bell,
Right.
it's a spiritual philosophy
Mhm.
emerged in the early 1900s.
Okay.
Think of this journal.
Yeah.
It's like a collection of thoughts and poems and reviews,
Okay.
all from a Thelemic perspective. It's like
Okay.
kind of getting a glimpse into how Thelemites see the world.
What's really neat about Black Pearl is that it's not just this, like, dry academic stuff. It
Yeah.
feels like a conversation is happening within the Thelemic community.
Oh, cool.
You get to see how they grapple with these complex ideas.
Right.
I think that's going to make this deep dive really interesting.
Absolutely. And we're covering some fascinating ground today, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to unravel the mystery of the Scarlet Woman,
Okay.
who is this intriguing figure in the Thelema.
Hmm.
We'll decode the secrets of the number 11
Right.
and how it ties into Thelemic concepts.
All right.
And then, just wait till you hear about these mystical visions one Thelemite had.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a wild ride.
Wow.
We'll even break down a ritual
Okay.
that's designed to boost the spiritual well-being of a Thelemic order.
So it's like this treasure trove of Thelemic insight
I know, right?
packed into this single issue.
So much to unpack. Let's start with this article called Let the Scarlet Woman Beware.
Hmm.
It dives right into interpreting verses from Liber AL Veliligius,
Right.
which is the Book of the Law,
Okay.
the core text of Thelema.
Yeah.
Have you ever come across it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Liber AL Veliligius, that's like the foundation of Thelema. That's
Mhm.
where a lot of their core beliefs stem from.
Okay.
What makes this article so interesting
Right.
is that it tackles the Scarlet Woman as an archetype,
Uh-huh.
not an individual person.
Okay.
It's saying that she's more like this universal symbol or concept.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Yeah.
So instead of like a specific woman,
Right.
she represents something bigger within Thelema.
Exactly. The article argues that she embodies this really potent force,
Okay.
closely connected to the feminine divine.
Okay.
Think of it like this powerful feminine energy that flows through everything.
Okay, so she's not someone you'd bump into at the grocery store,
Right.
but more like this universal energy or idea.
Yeah. And here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
The article says that emotions like pity, compassion, and tenderness actually hold the Scarlet Woman back.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's almost like those emotions are seen as weaknesses in this context.
So showing compassion is a bad thing for the Scarlet Woman.
Oh.
That seems a little counterintuitive.
I mean,
What do you think the author's trying to get at there?
well, the author connects the Scarlet Woman with the Neshama from Kabbalah.
Okay.
So that's like the higher soul, that part of us that's pure spirit.
Okay.
So the idea is that the Scarlet Woman operates from this higher spiritual plane,
Okay.
not bound by ordinary human emotions. Like those emotions might actually distract her from her true purpose.
That's a pretty thought-provoking way to look at it.
Right?
It's not that compassion is bad,
Yeah.
but maybe it's not the Scarlet Woman's domain.
Right.
It's like she's got a different higher calling.
Exactly. It really challenges you to think about the different levels of existence
Yeah,
and how different forces operate within them.
that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm definitely adding Neshama to my vocabulary list after this.
Good word.
Now, speaking of intriguing concepts,
Yeah.
let's move on to the Kabbalist's Corner column.
Okay.
This one focuses on the number 11.
All right.
What's the big deal about 11 in Thelema?
Well, in Thelema,
Mhm.
11 is considered a number of magic and change.
Oh, okay.
It's like this catalyst for transformation.
Transformation, huh?
Yeah.
So not just your average run-of-the-mill number.
Right.
Does that tie into the Scarlet Woman at all, you think?
It might, but let's look at 11 from a numerological perspective first.
Okay.
So it's made by combining the numbers 5 and 6,
Uh-huh.
which are associated with the pentagram and the hexagram.
Okay, I'm following you.
Yeah.
Pentagram, 5 points. Hexagram, 6 points.
Right.
What do those shapes represent in this context?
So the pentagram is often linked with humanity
Okay.
or the microcosm,
Yeah.
like the little world of the individual.
Okay.
The hexagram is linked with the macrocosm,
Okay.
the universe as a whole.
Okay. Got it.
So by combining the two,
Right.
11 symbolizes a bridge between the personal and the cosmic.
Whoa. That's a pretty powerful image.
Right.
So 11 isn't just some random number.
Yeah.
It represents this connection between us and the universe.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this column goes on to show how 11 pops up in all sorts of thelemic concepts. For instance,
Yeah.
the words the gay and the dilemma,
Okay.
5 and 6 letters each.
Wow, so even the number of letters in those words has a deeper meaning.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And there's more.
Okay, tell me.
Remember abrahadabra?
Yes.
That word is super important at thelema.
Right.
Guess how many letters it has?
Don't tell me. 11.
You got it.
Wow.
It's like they're hiding secret messages
Yeah.
within the very structure of their words.
Okay, I'm officially hooked.
Good.
So we've got the Scarlet Woman,
Right.
this powerful archetype,
Uh-huh.
and the number 11 bridging the gap between us and the universe.
Yep.
What else does this journal have in store for us?
Well, next up,
Yeah.
we have this section called Vision and the Voice,
Mm.
where one Thelemite reflects on a set of mystical visions.
Okay.
The 24th, 23rd, and 22nd ethers, to be exact.
Ethers.
Yeah,
That sounds pretty intense.
it is.
Are those like specific levels of spiritual experience or something?
You could think of them that way.
Okay.
They're these mystical realms or planes of existence, described in certain esoteric traditions.
Okay.
What's really fascinating here
Yeah.
is that the commentator interprets these visions through a thelemic lens.
Okay.
They're not just random images,
Mm.
but connected to astrological events
Okay.
and thelemic symbols.
Okay, so it's like they're decoding their own spiritual experiences
Exactly.
using thelemic knowledge.
Uh-huh.
What kind of images are we talking about here?
Oh, get ready for some wild imagery.
Okay.
There's a black bull with a beetle in its mouth,
Okay.
a spider web made of silver,
Mm.
drops of dew turning into cascades of gold,
Hmm.
even angels melting on the surface of an egg.
Okay, that's a lot to process. A beetle in a bull's mouth?
Yeah.
Melting angels?
Yeah.
Are these supposed to be straightforward?
Well, they're definitely meant to be symbolic.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about Liber AL Vel Legis
Yeah.
as the core text?
Mm-hmm.
The commentator uses its symbolism,
Okay.
along with astrological events,
Yeah.
to decipher these visions.
Mm.
They're trying to understand
Right.
how these personal experiences relate to the broader teachings of Thelema.
It's like they're piecing together a puzzle using Thelema as their guide.
Yeah, like a decoder ring.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we supposed to take away from these visions?
Right.
What's the bigger message?
The commentator suggests that these visions
Mm-hmm.
provide glimpses into higher spiritual realms
Okay.
and the path to achieving a greater understanding of consciousness.
So it's like a sneak peek into the journey of spiritual evolution.
You could say that.
Wow. So each image is like a clue on the path to higher consciousness.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
That makes you want to pay close attention to every detail.
for sure.
Okay, this is getting pretty deep, even for a deep dive.
Yeah.
What else is in this jam-packed journal issue?
Well, we've got one more piece to explore.
Okay.
There's an article on ceremonial magic
Hmm.
that outlines a ritual for boosting the spiritual health and prosperity of an entire thelemic order.
Okay, so we're moving from personal visions to something
Yeah.
a bit more practical.
Right.
Is this about getting rich quick, Thelema style?
Not quite.
Okay.
The article stresses that it's not about material wealth,
Right.
but about strengthening the order's connection to divine forces
Mm.
and helping its members grow spiritually.
So less about money, more about spiritual abundance.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Uh-huh.
What kind of ritual are we talking about here?
This one uses specific thelemic symbols
Right.
and calls upon certain divine beings.
Okay.
It also involves chanting mantras and visualization.
Right.
It's all about tapping into a deeper spiritual power
Mhm.
to uplift the entire order.
All right, now this is getting intriguing. I'm starting to see how all these pieces we've been discussing,
Right.
the Scarlet Woman, the number 11, those visions
Uh-huh.
all fit into the bigger picture of Thelema.
It's like we're slowly building a mosaic of understanding.
Exactly. Okay, so we've uncovered a lot of fascinating stuff in this journal already.
You have.
But before we jump into the details of these visions and the ritual,
Okay.
I want to hear what you think so far.
Yeah, what's jumping out at you as we're going through all this?
What questions are popping into your mind?
What's resonating with you the most?
It's your deep dive. So let us know what you're thinking.
Yep.
We'll get back to your thoughts and reactions
Come on.
after we take a closer look at those mystical visions
Right.
and the ritual for spiritual prosperity.
Sounds good. You know, it's fascinating how this article on the Scarlet Woman presents these seemingly contradictory ideas about her.
Yeah.
It's like she's this puzzle we're trying to piece together.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like she's this powerful, independent force,
Uh-huh.
but then there are all these warnings about her going astray.
Right.
It's a little confusing, to be honest.
Well, remember how the article cautions against letting pity, compassion, and tenderness influence the Scarlet Woman, and how it even warns about her potentially becoming like a shrinking and despised harlot if she deviates from her true path. What do you think about that?
Honestly, that image of her falling from grace really struck me.
Yeah.
It's like a cautionary tale.
Mm.
Do you think the author is saying that she needs to be ruthless or detached to fulfill her purpose?
It's definitely pushing you to think about the nature of power
Right.
and the potential consequences of wielding it.
Mm.
Remember, in
Yeah.
Thelema,
Yeah.
the concept of wickedness can sometimes be linked to wisdom.
Okay.
It's not always about being evil in the traditional sense.
So maybe it's more about challenging conventional morality
Uh-huh.
and embracing a different kind of wisdom.
Right.
Like she's not bound by the same rules as everyone else.
Exactly. And this article emphasizes that the Scarlet Woman should follow her own way
Okay.
and work the work of wickedness.
Right.
Which might sound a little scary.
Yeah.
But in this context,
Right.
it could be about shattering old paradigms
Yeah.
and forging a new path.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense. It's
Yeah.
like she's breaking free from those societal constraints, especially the ones that are often imposed on women.
Right.
Is that what the author's getting at with the loud and adulterous line?
I think there's definitely a message there
Yeah.
about embracing one's true nature.
Right.
Even if it goes against societal expectations.
Yeah.
It's about reclaiming power and defying those limitations.
Wow. It's like she's a symbol of rebellion and liberation,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also this dark side,
Yeah.
this potential for downfall if she loses her way.
Mm-hmm.
It's intense. But then the article ends on a really positive note, saying that when the Scarlet Woman fulfills her true nature, she'll be lifted to pinnacles of power and give birth to something mightier than all the kings of the earth.
Oh, wow.
What do you think about that?
It seems like it's suggesting a kind of spiritual evolution,
Right.
a transcendence beyond the limitations of the material world.
Yeah.
It's like she becomes this catalyst for a new era.
Okay, that's a much more uplifting image. So maybe it's not all doom and gloom for the Scarlet Woman.
Right?
It's about navigating that tricky path
Yeah.
and ultimately emerging as this powerful force for change.
For sure.
What do you think, listener? Are you starting to form your own ideas about who or what the Scarlet Woman represents?
Hold on to those thoughts because I think exploring those mystical visions might give you some more clues.
Right.
Yeah.
Those visions with the black bull and the melting angels.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around those. It's like trying to decipher a dream.
Well, what's really remarkable
Yeah.
is how the commentator connects those personal, subjective experiences
Mhm.
with the broader teachings of Thelema.
Right.
They're not just random images, but symbolic representations of spiritual concepts.
So it's like those visions are like a microcosm of the entire thelemic journey.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it suggests that personal experience and interpretation play a crucial role in understanding Thelema.
Okay.
It's not just about blindly following dogma,
Right.
but about applying those principles to your own unique journey.
That's what makes this so interesting.
Yeah.
It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
You get to engage with these ideas and see
Yeah.
how they resonate with your own experiences.
That's it.
So let's dive into those visions.
Okay.
Remind me, what were some of the key images that stood out?
Well, there was that striking image of the black bull with the beetle in its mouth.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Remember we talked about how the bull could represent strength,
Yeah.
virility,
Uh-huh.
and even the constellation Taurus.
Right.
And the beetle,
Yeah.
with its ancient Egyptian associations with rebirth and transformation,
Right.
could symbolize a kind of spiritual awakening.
I never thought I'd be analyzing beetles in a spiritual context, but here we are.
Yeah, right.
So are we saying the beetle represents a transformation happening within this powerful force represented by the bull? Like even in the midst of something strong and imposing,
Yeah.
there's this potential for change and renewal.
That's a great way to put it. It's like saying that even within seemingly dark or challenging experiences,
Yeah.
there's an opportunity for growth and evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, Thelema often emphasizes this interplay of light and darkness,
Yeah.
creation and destruction.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like finding the light within the darkness. What about that image of the silver spider web?
Yeah.
That one felt a little eerie to me.
It does have a mysterious vibe to it.
Yeah.
Remember, silver is often associated with the moon,
Uh-huh.
which is connected to intuition,
Yeah.
emotions,
Yeah.
and the subconscious mind.
Right.
So maybe the spiderweb represents a weaving together of these subconscious elements.
Like bringing those hidden parts of ourselves into the light of consciousness.
Exactly. It's
Okay.
like saying that we need to acknowledge and integrate those shadowy aspects of ourselves to achieve wholeness.
Yeah.
These visions are packed with symbols like this that point to different stages of the spiritual journey.
Okay, I'm starting to see the pattern here.
Yeah.
Each image is like a snapshot of a different phase of spiritual growth.
Uh-huh.
Now, what about those angels melting on the surface of an egg?
Yeah.
I've got to admit, that one really threw me for a loop.
It's definitely one of the most surreal images in these visions,
Yeah.
but eggs are often symbols of potential
Okay.
new beginnings
Right.
and even creation itself.
Uh-huh.
So maybe those angels represent divine energies or forces
Yeah.
that are merging with this potential for creation.
Interesting. So maybe the melting represents a kind of dissolving of the ego
Hmm.
or the old self,
Right.
making way for something new to emerge. It's like those divine energies are breaking down the old structures
Yeah.
to create something fresh and vibrant.
That's a really insightful interpretation.
Cool.
It does seem like there's a lot of alchemical symbolism
Yeah.
embedded within these visions. It's like witnessing a transformation happening on a spiritual level.
Okay, I'm officially adding spiritual alchemy to my list of cool concepts.
Good one.
So we've got the black bowl,
Right.
the silver web,
Uh-huh.
the melting angels,
Yeah.
each with its own symbolic meaning.
Right.
But the commentator also linked these visions to specific astrological events,
Yeah, that's right.
which adds another layer of complexity.
Right. It suggests that there's this cosmic dimension to these experiences.
Yeah.
It's not just happening within the person's mind,
Hmm.
but also connected to the movements of the planets and stars.
Right.
What do you make of that?
It's like those astrological events were creating the conditions for these visions to occur.
Yeah.
Like the universe was conspiring to reveal these insights.
Yeah.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
It does make you wonder about the interconnectedness of everything.
Yeah.
And it highlights the importance of understanding the astrological context
Right.
when interpreting these kinds of mystical experiences.
Yeah. It's like having a cosmic roadmap.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got these vivid symbolic visions,
Yeah.
and they're connected to this bigger astrological picture.
Right.
How does all of this relate back to Thelema as a whole?
Well, I think it shows how Thelema encourages you to connect your own personal experiences
Right.
with its broader teachings.
Yeah.
It's not just about passively accepting dogma,
Uh-huh.
but about actively engaging with the symbolism
Yeah.
and seeing how it resonates with your own life.
It's like saying, here's the framework, now go out and explore.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But speaking of practical applications,
Yeah.
remember that article on ceremonial magic?
Oh, absolutely.
The one that outlines a ritual for boosting the spiritual prosperity of a Thelemic order.
That one really highlights how Thelema goes beyond individual practice
Okay.
and incorporates a sense of collective spiritual growth.
Right.
Remember how it emphasized connecting to the supernal realm?
Yeah.
That highest sphere of divine consciousness?
Right. It's like they're tapping into a higher power to benefit the whole group, not just themselves.
Exactly.
So it's not just about individual enlightenment, but
Mhm.
also about contributing to the spiritual evolution of the community.
Exactly. And remember how the article mentioned using specific Thelemic symbols and invocations,
Yes.
along with practices like mantra chanting and visualization?
Yeah.
It's like weaving together different threads of Thelemic practice
Okay.
to create this powerful, energetic tapestry.
So it's like a group meditation, but with a Thelemic twist.
You could think of it that way.
Okay.
And it's interesting how the ritual calls upon the Scarlet Woman archetype.
Right.
What do you think about that?
It's like bringing her power into the ritual
Uh-huh.
to amplify its effects.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a way of tapping into that collective feminine energy we talked about earlier.
That's a really insightful connection.
Yeah.
It shows how the Scarlet Woman, who we first encountered as this potentially dangerous figure,
Right.
can also be a source of positive power and transformation.
Right.
When understood and approached correctly.
Okay, that adds a whole new dimension to our understanding of the Scarlet Woman.
Right.
But the article also mentions visualizing oneself as the layman or symbol of the order.
Right.
What's that all about?
Well, lamans are often used in Thelema
Yeah.
to represent different concepts or principles.
Okay.
So visualizing oneself as the layman could be a way of embodying those principles on a personal level.
It's like internalizing those abstract ideas and making them a part of your being.
Right.
And by doing this together as a group, they're creating this shared experience.
Yes.
And amplifying those principles.
Exactly. It's like creating a sacred space where the energy of the group can be focused and directed towards a common goal.
That makes sense.
It's pretty powerful stuff.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Right.
The Scarlet Woman, the number 11, those visions, and this ritual. It's like Thelema is this intricate web of symbolism and practice. All aimed at helping people connect with their own inner power and the divine forces that surround them.
It's like a journey of self-discovery, but with a map and a guide.
That's a good way to put it.
So what's standing out to you the most so far?
Yeah, what's grabbing your attention, listener?
What are you starting to understand about Thelema and how it works?
Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Share your thoughts with us.
We'd love to hear from you.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into Black Pearl.
We have.
The Scarlet Woman, the significance of the number 11, those incredible mystical visions. And we even started to unpack that ritual for enhancing the spiritual prosperity of a Thelemic order. But before we wrap up, there's one more detail about that ritual that I wanted to touch on. Remember how the article mentioned using something called the Briatic hierarchies?
Yes, I do.
Those sound pretty intense.
They definitely are. The Briatic hierarchies represent like a higher level of magical working within Thelema. It's like tapping into a more potent source of spiritual energy. Think of it like this. You've been learning the basic moves. And now you're ready to unlock the advanced combo techniques.
Ooh, I like that analogy. So those Briatic hierarchies are like the secret techniques you need to master to level up your spiritual game.
Yeah, you could say that.
What makes them so special?
Well, they're connected to the supernal realm. Which, as we mentioned earlier, is that highest sphere of divine consciousness in the Lemma. It's like going straight to the source, the ultimate power source.
Okay, so we're talking about some serious high-level stuff here.
We are.
And the article mentions that this ritual involves invoking specific deities. And using symbols like the Scarlet Woman and the Layman of the Order. It's like they're bringing together all these different elements to create something truly powerful.
Exactly. It's like weaving a tapestry of Thelemic symbolism and practice, all aimed at connecting the order to the divine and facilitating spiritual growth.
It's amazing to see how all these seemingly disparate pieces,
I know, right?
The Scarlet Woman, the number 11, the visions,
the Briatic hierarchy,
all come together in this ritual.
They do.
It's like they're all part of this grand cosmic symphony.
I think you're right about that. There's definitely a sense of interconnectedness within Thelema. And this ritual highlights something else that's really important. The role of community and shared practice. It's not just about individuals seeking enlightenment on their own, but about coming together to support each other's spiritual growth.
It's like the saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Exactly. And I think that spirit of collaboration and mutual support is really beautiful. It's one of the things that makes Thelema so unique and appealing.
Okay, so we've explored a lot of fascinating concepts and practices in this deep dive.
We have.
What would you say is the most important takeaway for you, listener?
What's resonating with you the most?
I hope you're walking away with a sense that exploring any spiritual tradition, especially one as rich and complex as Thelema, is an ongoing journey.
It is.
It's not about finding all the answers right away, but about asking questions, being curious, and seeing how these ideas apply to your own life.
It's about keeping that spark of curiosity alive.
Exactly. And this issue of Black Pearl is like a perfect example of that.
It is.
It's full of different voices and perspectives, all engaging with Thelema in their own unique ways.
It's a reminder that there's no one right way to approach spirituality. It's about finding what resonates with you. And using those tools to guide your own journey.
So don't be afraid to dive deep. Explore different paths and see where they lead you.
You never know what you might find.
Maybe you'll even discover your own Scarlet Woman within.
There you go.
And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Connect with others who share your interests, explore different resources, and keep that conversation going.
Absolutely.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive into the world of Thelema.
This has been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning,
Yeah.
and keep that adventurous spirit alive.